This is Sted Holbrook with the Bohemian Life, and today we're headed to Sonoma to visit Jack at the Sonoma Valley Worm Farm. We're going to find out how he does it, what he does with the worm compost, and why he loves worms so much.
13. Just for a few minutes. Okay, thanks. I'm on TV. Hi, I'm Jack Chambers out here at Sonoma Valley Worm Farm in Sonoma, California on a little bit of a nicely misty day. How did I go from being a pilot to having a worm farm? I had a big garden in town and a friend said I should come out to the worm farm, and he told me where it was and he said it's a mess but you need to see it. So I came out and I bought a 5-gallon bucket of worms and I took it and put it in my compost pile, and I went on a 5-day trip, came back and the compost pile has been transformed by these worms. And I came back out and talked to the guy who was in his 70s and I asked him if I could work with him. And 3 months later I asked him if I could buy the property, and 2 weeks later he said yes. 3 days later we'd sold our house and we had a worm farm. So what we're going to do here is take a look at the worms. We just fed today, so they're still down a little bit. But so you can see, look at the difference in the color. So they've been working on this material, how it's brown, darker, and this is newly fed material. So you can see how they've already put their castings into this material that's just 3 or 4 inches down. When worms travel through a soil, they're adding fertility to the soils. So the more I found out about the worms, what I came to realize, it took me a while, but I realized that the worms are just the workers and the real value is in the vermicompost, is in the finished product. That's what you like to see when you get a handful of worms, is something like that.
What kind of worms are they?
Icenia fetida, red wigglers, ubiquitous all over the world, and they're, as this world expert said, they're a tough worm. It's all about food, actually. It's about helping people grow better food. Think globally, act locally kind of deal. We've been sending out about 2,000 pounds of worms for the last 22 years. So we take the blade all the way up to the end of the bin and then we bring it back like this. And then we take this material and put it through the sifter, a 1/4-inch screen, and that gives us our finished vermicompost. And so what someone will do now is they'll take a handful of this and put it in a vine, as they're planting a vine. And it adds vitality and nutrition, disease suppression, and it helps the vines get off to a real good start. The worm bed is not just for worms. There's lots of creatures in the worm bed along with the worms. So it's a whole biological process. Regular compost adds material back into the soil, which is a great thing, and you'll get some microbes working on that. But what happens is as the worms eat the compost, it goes through their gut and picks up this very rich microbial soup. Our production process, it's like a lot of things in life. It's like watching a guy hit a home run. It looks simple, and it sounds simple. We get separated dairy solids from an organic dairy out in West County. We bring it here, we pre-compost it for a period of time. You want to go over and see the garden?
Yeah, take a walk.
Okay. You know, they don't know the exact mechanism that makes it so good, but it's probably a plant growth hormone, plant growth regulator, the microbial mix. And it's like nature doing its best and making its best. All of the best soils in the world, I think, are enriched with worms. One conference I said that worms are going to revolutionize agriculture. And it sounded kind of crazy back in 2003, but now I think we're almost there. People are really starting to step up and say, hey, this is an amazing product.